apparently, the picture that came out yesterday, akala natin initially lumang picture yon. Apparently, bago siya. Pagkatapos, apparently, hindi lang si Sen Aimee. Si Camille Villar ay kasama din. So, it looks like Tio Moreno is correct. Ako simple, kapag sinabi ni Inday, Duterte plus 2, may post si Crisette 1 hour ago. Sabi niya, let this sink in. Sara Duterte is strategically choosing to promote candidates that will be able to help her in the impeachment court. She's choosing people who will make sure she won't be impeached. Because the old Sara Duterte won't care if she is impeached. Actually, this is very true, no? Kasi nung una, it seems that Inday doesn't really care kung ma-impeach siya o hindi. And yung ganitong dumidiskarte si Inday, I think she's becoming more serious in becoming the president. And that's good news for me. Kasi makita niyo yung mga previous na mga stand ni Inday, wala talaga siyang pake. Buwis-buhay talaga yung mga sinasabi niya tsaka yung mga stand niya. Yung parang she doesn't give an F yung mga dating kilos ni Inday. But now, kung dumidiskarte si Inday na ganito, that okay, lumalaban ako, ayokong ma-impeach. Bakit ayaw mong ma-impeach? O kasi dahil perhaps there is already something in the mind of Inday that she's gonna go for it. She's gonna go for the presidency. Because the old Sara Duterte won't care if she is impeached because she can live her life quietly in Davao. But this version of Sara Duterte understands that if she is impeached and she cannot wrestle back control for her father, Rodrigo Duterte will die as a detained man in a foreign country. Let that sink in. Sara Duterte is moving to save not herself but her father. If you want to save her father, you will look at Sara Duterte and respect her choices, whether you like it or not. If she is impeached, Rodrigo Duterte languishes in detention, possibly till the end of his life with no powerful family or ally. If she is saved from the impeachment, she can move, especially in the second half of this admin. You don't have to like Sara Duterte to respect her choices. You only need to want to bring PRRD home. Let that sink in. Yung wisdom ni PRRD at saka yung wisdom ni Inday, miles apart, malayo talaga. Ibang level yung wisdom nung tatay. Sara Duterte is a younger politician. Yes, may regrets. Yes, may budol na nangyari noong 2022. She'll make a mistake. She admits to it. And now she is trying to fix it. Like I said, I am going to accumulate wisdom. I will grow up with Sara Duterte and accumulate wisdom with Sara Duterte, pero hindi ko siya iiwanan. That's for sure. So if they make this this announcement official that there is +2 in the Duterte in the Duterte +2, if they are going to make this official, I'm all in. Wala nang tapos na yung debate dito. Karamihan ang nakikita ko sa comment section. Boboto ko lang si Aimee kapag nag-file siya ng impeachment kay Bongbong. Actually, pag nag-file si Aimee ng impeachment kay Bongbong, it is detrimental to us, not to Bongbong Marcos. Tayo ang talo doon. Ang matatalo ay hindi si Bongbong Marcos, tayo. But alam ko marami pang dumudugo ang puso diyan eh. At saka marami pang parang nasya-shock sa mga kaganapan. So, natin to kasi this is really huge, Actually, it's huge sa part ni Inday kasi it demonstrate her resolve to move. Sumisipa si Inday, lumalaban siya. It's huge sa part ni Inday kasi nakita natin na, she's being intentional here. She's really tried to fight back. She's really pushing back diyan sa impeachment trial that is already that is already in place. It's out to get her. And so kumikilos si Inday para labanan yun. And ultimately, I would have to agree with Crisette when she said we would be in a better position to bring PRRD back if Inday Sara stays as the vice president of this country. It's mandatory. So you may not agree with Inday Sara. Siguro kung impatient kayo for Inday Sara to grow up as just like her father. Kung feeling ninyo ayaw niyo nang maniwala kay Inday, kung feeling ninyo gusto niya na siyang iwanan dahil hindi siya kasing talino ng tatay niya, it's up to you. but I am not going to leave Inday. We're going to make a mistake together. I'm going to build my wisdom with her. I'm gonna grow up with her, but I will stand by Inday Sara Duterte. That's for sure. Sa mga OFW natin na nakikinig ng live na ito, please vote, okay? Huwag niyong gawing option ang hindi pagboto dahil sa feeling ninyo dadayain tayo or things like that. Ganito po kasi yan, okay? Simple math. Kapag ka po, dinaya tayo pero bumoto kayo, meron po tayong laban. Kasi, ebidensya po ninyo yung mga sarili-sarili ninyo eh. Pero paano kayo lalaban kung dinaya ang boto pero hindi naman kayo bumoto? 'Di ba? So, importante, ako, tama kayo eh, naniniwala ko malaki ang chances na magkakaroon ng dayaan talaga sa eleksyon. Malaki talaga ang chances because COMELEC is not committed in making this election clean. So, agree ako sa inyo na yung sa inyong takot na baka dayain, ganyan-ganyan. Actually, malaki talaga yung chance. But, huwag niyong gawing reason yon para hindi bumoto. Kailangan niyo pong bumoto, kailangan kayong umeffort na magparehistro. Okay? Sa mga OFW po, ang inyong registration ay up until May 7. Pwede kayong mag-online registration para makaboto at pwede kayong bumoto up until May 12. Sabi ni Direk Daryl, Aimee will defend Inday, period. Ako hindi ako duda na ide-defend ni Aimee si Inday. Definitely, she's not going to vote for Inday's impeachment. Di ba nung una, which I agree, no? Yung una yung mga nagsasabi dun sa hearing ni Senator Aimee na yung hearing niya parang they don't find it sincere, parang iiwas naman niya sa kapatid niya yung accountability and things like that. Beneficial ba yung hearing ni Aimee kay Bongbong Marcos? Ganun kasi yung gusto kong kasi parang ganun yung nagiging criticism doon sa hearing ni Bongbong Marcos. In fact, meron akong long-time follower na I respect very much. Tinanong niya ako, Joey, because of the hearing of Aimee, tingin mo dapat na ba natin siyang iboto? Sabi niya ganun. Tapos sabi ko, actually, ang sagot ko talaga initially dyan is no. Sabi ko parang, tingnan natin kasi ako talaga, crucial dito yung kung ano yung sasabihin ni Inday. Tayong lahat, nag-agree tayong lahat. Salamat, Aimee. Pero, huwag na natin usapan ang botohan. Last night, dun ko lang rin talaga na-realize yung na parang, ay puta, may explanation dito si Attorney Neil Abayon eh. Ang main ni Attorney Neil Abayon is the doctrine of qualified political agency, in which nakasentro yung tanong sa sinong nag-utos ng kidnapping ni PRRD.
So unang-una po, explain ko po muna sa inyo kung ano ba talaga yung doctrine of qualified political agency. So yung doctrine po na yan is also known as what we call the alter ego doctrine. So ang ibig sabihin po niyan, lahat po ng mga heads ng mga departments, yung mga cabinet secretaries po, they are considered as alter egos of the president, diba? Kasi alam naman po natin, sa sobrang daming trabaho po ng mga departments, sa iba't ibang departments, hindi naman po talaga yan kaya isa-isahin ng presidente na matrabaho or matutukan talaga. Therefore, yung mga cabinet secretaries pong ina-appoint niya are considered his alter egos, which means po na yung mga actions, yung mga decisions ng mga cabinet secretaries na yon are presumed to be actions of the president himself. Okay? So yan po yung summary na explanation ng what we call the qualified political agency doctrine. So under po yan ng administrative law natin dito sa bansa. So napanood niyo naman po siguro dun sa Senate hearing Senator Aimee kanina na may isa pong sinabi dun si Secretary Boying pag tinatanong kung sino talagang nag-uutos is hindi po niya sinasabi na siya yung nag-utos, rather sinasabi lang niya is nagsa-certify. Okay? So hindi pa rin po talaga natin masabi na si Secretary Boying yung nag-utos. Pero let's say lang po for discussion and argument purposes na si Secretary Boying nga yung nag-utos. For discussion lang po to, assumption lang po to. Ang presumption po niyan ngayon is kung yung secretary po, isang cabinet secretary yung nag-utos, is yung presidente rin po mismo yung nag-utos.
Ayan. O, diba? So, na-explain dito ni Attorney Neil na if you're going to apply the doctrine of qualified political agency, ang presumption talaga is that it is Bongbong who actually orchestrated everything. Yun ang premise. So, ibig sabihin, si Aimee Marcos, pumasok siya dito sa hearing na to, na talagang hawak ng kutsilyo sa krimen ay si Bongbong Marcos. Kumbaga parang hindi mo na kailangan patunayan to because it's a presumption nga eh. Yun yung sinasabi ni Attorney Neil na pag ginawa yan ng mga cabinet members mo, it is presumed na yun ay utos ng presidente.
Dahil sila yung alter ego ng presidente.
Dahil sila yung alter ego ng presidente, and this can be justified legally. This can be proven legally because the doctrine of political agency works as a presumption. Ibig sabihin, automatic yan. Hindi mo na kailangang i-prove yan. You have to, ang kailangan mong i-prove is kapag hindi totoo yung presumption. Kung gusto mong basagin yung presumption, ikaw yung magbibigay ng ebidensya na hindi yun totoo. Because that's the presumption. Kumbaga, yun kasi yung automatic. So, ibig sabihin, nung pumunta si Senator Amy sa hearing, alam niya, nagisado yung kapatid niya. I'm very sure, Senator Amy is familiar with the doctrine of qualified political agency. That Senator Amy is very familiar to the alter ego doctrine. Nevertheless, pinasok pa rin niya yung hearing at alam niya na magigipit ang kanyang kapatid at the end of the day. Unless mahila niya at malaman niya that it is an act of bullying or
Yun.
it is an act of someone else giving an order to Boeing and the rest of the team group effort. We also have to take note kasi ilang days na yung nakakalipas, there's still no repudiation on the part of the president.
Yes. Oo.
Diba? There's still no repudiation on the part of the president. So ngayon, ibig sabihin, kay BBM talaga to. Kung ayaw nilang magsalita, kung kunwari, sabihin na natin, natulog na tong hearing na to. Natulog na tong hearing na to at hindi na kumilos to. Isa lang yung conclusion dyan. The qualified political agency will operate. So, ibig sabihin, 100% walang duda, ikaw BBM ang may kaputahan nitong mga pangyayaring to. Which is something that we also believe na gano'n naman talaga yung nangyari, di ba? Ngayon, that brings you a question. So, ibig sabihin, kapag ka hindi napatunayan ni Senator Amy na merong ibang involved dito, nilagay niya sa alanganin yung kapatid niya. Tinagtad niya yung kapatid niya dito, 'di ba? Dinurog niya yung kapatid niya dito kasi basically it just exposes na walang iba, kapatid niya talaga yung may kasalanan. So, yun yung taya ni Sen Amy dyan. 'Di ba? Na kapag hindi siya nakapagturo ng iba, ang blame dito lahat sa kapatid niya. Pero kung meron silang makikitang ibang nag-utos, at least, hindi lang yung kapatid niya ang may kasalanan. Meron pang iba. Team group effort ko. So, that really gives me additional color doon sa hearing ni Senator Amy. And then I realized, okay, so, ibig sabihin, may tinaya pala talaga dito si Senator Amy. May risk siya dito. Is it a pagtatanggol to the kapatid? To a certain extent, yes. Kasi kumbaga parang, imbis na yung kapatid lang niya yung mabiblame, maaaring magkaroon ng mga kasamang tao na mabiblame sa kapatid niya. But definitely, entering this hearing will not save his brother. I just realized nga na ganun yung sitwasyon. Kasi nga parang, ang pinakamatinding save na lang na pwede niyang gawin dito is hindi nag-iisa yung kapatid niya. How can that protect BBM, di ba? Pag hindi niya sinusog at inalam yung ibang may kasalanan dito, ang may kasalanan lang would be BBM, solo niya. Ako hindi ko lang maintindihan, parang yung sa iba na siguro, sinasabi nila na ayaw na namin magtiwala kay Inday kasi nabudol na kami last time, ganyan-ganyan, eme. You have to understand, Inday is a very young politician kumpara sa tatay niya. Magkakamali siya at maaaring magkamali pa siya sa mga susunod na araw. But kung sasabihin nyo na iwanan nyo si Inday dahil nagkamali siya, diba? O sino i-offer niyo sa akin? I'd rather choose someone who acknowledges his or her own mistakes. Remember, diba, ilang beses na nag-apologize tong si Inday, profusely apologizing dahil dun sa nangyari noong 2022. Ginagamit rin kasi nila na, hindi, sinabi na ni Inday, parang hindi ako mag-endorse, bakit siya nag-endorse ngayon? Hindi, sabi ni Inday, ang tawag dito, never again, ganyan-ganyan, yung merong, kasi may ganun statement si Inday before, never again, hindi na raw siya magpapabudol sa mga Marcos, never again. Sabi ganun ni Inday. We are seeing a different Inday right now. Yung Inday kasi na nagsasalita nung mga time na yun yung Inday na walang pakialam eh. Diba? Yun yung Inday na galit na galit. Yun yung Inday na Attorney Zuleika time. Yung wala talaga siyang pakialam. She doesn't give any damn. Diba? Nung mga panahon na yun, she doesn't really care. Parang hindi nga niya iniisip na na alam mo yun, yung parang wala talaga siyang pake. Parang at that time kasi parang ang iniisip lang ni Inday, bumalik na lang ng Davao eh. 'Di ba? But itong Inday na to is a different Inday because this is the Inday with a father na nasa Hague. And this is the Inday who's thinking of a long-term solution. And this is also the Inday who wants her father back to the Philippines, just like the rest of us. Even yung statement ni Inday na hindi siya mag-endorse, because that's the Inday who doesn't have a plan at that point. Yun yung Inday na walang plano pa noong mga panahon na yun. Kaya nga ako, mas gusto ko si Inday na gumaganito kasi ibig sabihin, tangina, nag-iisip na si Inday ng future.